Welcome to Countarts. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at the compound interest. We're going to explain what it is, look at the formula, and go through some examples, which will of course help you understand compound interest much better. So if you don't know what compound interest is and how to do the calculations, I'm sure after this lesson, you should be in the clear. We've done a lesson on the simple interest as well. So if you'd like to check that one out, and I would encourage you to do so, which would help you understand what the differences also is between the simple interest and the compound interest. You'll find the link to that lesson in the description below. So what is compound interest? Compound interest is the process by which interest is calculated not only on the initial principal, because that's what simple interest does, but also on the accumulated interest from previous periods. This is why it's called compound interest. And so you might have heard the term the power of compound interest. This is precisely why you're not only calculating interest on the initial principal amount, but with each new period, you're calculating interest based on the initial amount plus whatever interest that you would have earned or incurred from the beginning. And that's what happens when you're either making an investment or you're taking out a loan. And you'll see some of these examples as we're about to go through them. This results in exponential growth of the total amount over time, as each compounding period adds more interest to an increasing balance. And so remember, if you're making an investment, the first period's interest is calculated only on the amount that you invested. But from the second period, the interest is calculated on the amount that you invested plus all the interest that you would have earned by the beginning of this period. And you'll understand this more as we go along. Unlike simple interest, compound interest grows faster because it builds on the previous balance. As I mentioned, simple interest only calculates on the initial amount. If it's an investment, on the initial amount that was invested. If it's a loan, on the initial loan that was taken out. So it doesn't take into account any interest that has been earned or incurred in the subsequent periods. And if you checked out our lesson on simple interest, you would understand this. While simple interest remains the same for all periods, compound interest increases with each period, creating a larger total over time. Okay, so as I've already alluded to, simple interest remains the same for all the periods. When you're calculating simple interest from period 1 to the end of the term, the interest will be the same for all the periods. But with compound interest, because it's calculating on the new balance during each period, the amount will be growing over time. So having said that, what is the formula for calculating simple interest? It's quite easy, and here it is. We've got A equals to P, open bracket, 1 plus R divided by N, and then you raise that to N multiplied by T. Okay, so this is the compound interest formula. But what do these variables stand for? Well, A stands for the future value of the investment or the loan, including the interest itself. Okay, so if you want to calculate the future value of a loan or investment and its compound interest, this is the formula that you would use. And what about P? What does it stand for? Well, P is the principal. That's the initial deposit or the loan amount. So if you want to invest 5,000 Rand, your P is going to be 5,000 Rand. Or you take out a 10,000 Rand loan, your 10,000 is going to be your P. And then of course in the brackets 1 plus R. What is R? Well, R is the annual interest rate, and you put it as a decimal. Okay, so if you have an interest rate of 12%, what is the decimal? Well, it's 12 divided by 100 and you'll get 0.12. Okay, so you put that one as a decimal. Remember, this is the annual interest rate, and in most examples, you're given the annual interest rate, and then you divide that by N. What is our N here? Well, the N is the number of times interest is compounded per year. So this can be anything from a daily compounding to a yearly compounding. So if it's a daily compounding, that's 365 if you're using a 365 day or a 360 day. And then if it's compounded once per year, that is 1. If it's compounded 12 times per year, that will be 12. If it's compounded quarterly, that is 4. And you'll understand this much better as we go through the examples just now. All right, and what about the T? That's the last variable that we have here. The T is the number of years the money is invested or borrowed for. So don't confuse the N and the T here. The N is how many times it's compounded per year, and you will be told in the question that it's compounded yearly or compounded quarterly or compounded daily or compounded monthly, and then you'll be able to know as I've just mentioned. But the T here is the number of years. So if you're told that the investment is for 10 years or the loan period is for 10 years, then you know your T is going to be 10, and you'll plug in the amounts to this formula and you'll get your answer. Now that we've explained the formula, let's look at some examples. Here's our first example. James invests 5,000 Rand at an annual interest rate of 6% compounded yearly for 3 years, how much will he have at the end of the investment term? Well, let's bring up our formula once more. Here we go. A, what is our A there? That is the future value, including, of course, the interest. So that is what they want us to calculate. How much will he have at the end of the investment term? And the P is how much is investing. And how much is he investing? 5,000 Rand. So that's going to be your P. And then 1 plus R. What is our R? Our R is the rate of interest as a decimal. So that's going to be 6%. If you put it as a decimal, it's 0.06. How do you get that? 6 divided by 100, you get 0.06. And then you divide that by N. What is N? N is the number of compounding periods per year. And what are we told here? That the 6% is compounded yearly. So how many is that? That's once per year. Okay, it's compounded once per year if you're told it's compounded yearly or it's compounded annually. That's once per year. And then you raise that to the power of N times T. Of course, we've just mentioned our N is 1 and the T there is the number of years. And we are told that this is an investment for 3 years. So we'll put the T as 3. And so here's how our formula is going to look like. And this is what I've just mentioned. Okay, 5,000 Rand P, R is 0.06, N is 1 because compounded yearly, and the T is 3 years. And so here is our solution. 5,955 Rand and 8 cents. As you can see, it's easy to use this formula to get what our answer needs to be. Let's look at our second example. Jane deposits 10,000 Rand at an annual interest rate of 8%, compounded semi-annually for 5 years. How much will she have at the end of the investment period? Let's bring up our formula once more. So she's depositing 10,000 Rand. And what do we call that? That is our principal. So our P is going to be 10,000 Rand. Remember, they're still asking us to calculate the future value, or the A, okay, how much she will have at the end of the investment period, which will be the initial deposit and all the interest that she's going to earn. So our P is 10,000 Rand, and then open bracket 1 plus the R. What is our R there? Remember, we have to put it as a decimal. Our R is going to be 8%, but to put it as a decimal, 8 divided by 100, that is 0.08, and then we divide that by N. What is our N? Our N is the number of compoundings per year. And what are we told here? We're told that it's at an annual interest rate of 8% compounded semi-annually. So if it's semi-annually, how many times is that per year? That is 2 times per year. And so our N, our compoundings per year, is going to be 2. And then we raise that to the power of N, which is 2, multiplied by T. What is our T? That is the number of years. And it's quite easy here because we're told it's for 5 years. Okay, so we're going to raise it to the power of 2 times 5. So here's our solution. Let's bring up our variables that I've just mentioned. Our P is 10,000 Rand, our R is 0.08, our N is 2, and our T is 5 years. Now what is our solution going to be? Well, here it is. When we plug all the variables in, we get an answer of 14,802 Rand and 44 cents. You can see how easy it is once you understand what you're looking for and what you're doing and what elements you plug where and in what way. Let's look at another example here. A savings account has 2,000 Rand with an annual interest rate of 12% compounded monthly. Determine the total amount in the account after 3 years. And so you can see here, the more examples you do, the more calculations you do, the more practice you put in, the easier it is to identify what our elements are. So let's bring up our formula again. Our P is obviously 2,000 Rand, and then our R here is 12 divided by 100, 0.12, that is 12%, but putting it as a decimal is 0.12 as I've just mentioned, and then we divide that by N. What is our N? How many compoundings do we have? Well, we are told that it's compounded monthly, so how many months do we have in a year? That's 12. Okay, so our R is 0.12, our N is 12, and remember that's the compoundings per year, and then we raise that to the power of N, which is 12, multiplied by T. How many years are we dealing with here? Well, we're dealing with 3 years. So here's our solution. Let's bring up our variables as I've just mentioned. Our P is 2,000, our R is 0.12, our N is 12, and our T is 3 years. So it's just a coincidence that our R is 12% and our N is 12. So you don't want to confuse which is which here. But I'm sure by now you should understand it. And what is our answer going to be? Well, here it is. 2,000 times 1 plus 0.12 divided by 12. And we raise that to the power of 12 compoundings per year times 3 years. And Once we put it in, we get our answer of 2,861 rand and 54 cents. I hope these examples have shown you how to calculate compound interest, and it has shown you how easy it is to calculate it. Now, here's one thing that I must mention. When you're plugging these formulas into your calculator, you must be careful how you plug them in. You must take note of where the brackets are and what you're raising it to the power of, okay? Because if you mess up and you put the brackets in the wrong place, then you will get the wrong answer. And so you want to apply BODMAS here as you do this calculation. Now, this is our formula for compound interest, for getting the future value that is. Now, this formula can be rearranged if any of the other variables are missing. Remember, for all the examples that we've done thus far, the only variable that has been missing is the future value, okay, or how much the person will have at the end of a specific amount of years. But you may be given the future value, but they may ask you to calculate the principal, or they might ask you to calculate the interest rate, or they might ask you to calculate the number of compoundings per year, or they may even ask you to calculate the number of years. So how are you going to do that? Well, you can rearrange this formula to get your answer. And so we're going to show you that this formula is actually flexible, just like we did for the simple interest. So if you look at it here, this is our formula that we've been looking at and going through those examples. If your P is missing, this is how you will rearrange the formula to get to that answer. You'll take your future value of the investment or the loan divided by the 1 plus the R divided by N, and you raise that to the power of N times T. And so you can see that all the variables remain the same. The only thing that you have done is to rearrange it where your A, or your future value, is a numerator and the rest of the elements are denominators. And of course, you're going to be solving for P. What if your rate is missing? What would you do, or how would you rearrange this formula to get it? Well, if your rate is missing, here's exactly how you're going to do it. Okay, it's going to be N multiplied by, you open two brackets, A divided by P, close the first bracket, and then you raise that to the power of 1 divided by N times T, and then you deduct 1 and you close your bracket, and you will have what your interest rate is, or your annual interest rate is. What about N? If your N, or the number of compoundings, is missing, here's how you're going to do it. You just plug these elements into your calculator, or if you're using Excel, you can do that and you will get your number of compoundings. What about the number of years? If the number of years is missing, here is how you're going to do it. And you can see it's very similar to how you calculate the number of compoundings. You're just switching the two together and you will get your number of years. I hope this has been clear. I hope you now know how to calculate the future value when you're dealing with compound interest. If you haven't checked out our lesson on simple interest, you'll find the link in the description below, as I've mentioned. If you've gained value from this lesson, consider subscribing to our channel, like this video, and share it to those you think it might help. Till next time, cheers.